guys, we should be live. Yeah, we are officially live. I'm just gonna share this link. So
Trevor, do you want to share your screen or turn on your camera? I can do the same.
no worries, bro. I got this. Don't worry.
Gotcha.
Boom. There's the link. Sorry for the thumbnail, but get into here. All right, so. All right. Hey, Mitch, can you mute yourself, bro?
Thought I was muted.
Nope. All right. Can you guys see me now? Like, I don't know if my video's not on there. Can you guys see my face? No.
I can see you, bud.
Okay, I can't see myself. Oh, it's loading. All right, guys. So. Okay, well, she'll get there. Anyways, guys, so tonight's call here, right, is the starting point of this journey of really, how are we going to shift gears over the next, couple weeks to few months to couple of years on how to really take advantage of this NFT space, how to make sure that, everyone's up to speed so that way everybody gets to eat. And, whether you're here for a reason of like, hey, I just want to, learn more about the space, I want to understand this a little bit better, we got you, right? Or maybe you want to like make a few extra dollars on the side or turn this into a full-time gig, right? And we can really seriously take that to heart through community, through what we have here, and together we create something very, very special, right? So I laid out a little bit of some topics here that I want to cover tonight, and I'm going to go over it. I'm also going to introduce to you guys Alec. He's a really cool individual. He wants to help, spearhead some of this together and bring some very valuable education to all of you guys, right? Some of you guys, it's first time, getting introduced to NFTs. Maybe you just bought your first NFT ever. Congratulations, right? But where does that end, or where does it start, right? It's where we're going in this space is insane. It's incredible. It's fun. And it's exciting. And seriously, if you really take advantage of it over the next several months here, your life could look completely different from where we are right now to where we're gonna be. So guys, the vision behind this group here is to bring everybody together to a place where, the newest person who doesn't know anything can come in, learn the basics, and go from the very ground zero to buying their first NFT, to selling their first NFT, to making their first little bag, and continually going, right? I heard, today as well, how, some groups, they're just like, inside of Rough Life, we've been really special and fortunate because we're such a close group together. Everyone's there to help each other. Everyone's super supportive. We want to bring that same energy here. We don't want to take away from what we got at Rough Life, but we want to make sure that we are here growing and educating all together, right? The vision of this NFT gang, is, if you seriously want success and wealth and abundance in your life, it has to come from a few different pillars, right? And number one is starting with your own health. Right? What is it that you put into your body? What are the foods you eat? Do you work out? Do you keep your body in shape, right? That's very important. The next is mindset, right? Bob Proctor said that literally success is 95% mindset, 5% strategy, right? If that's the case, we could take all the alpha plays, we could, do all the, hit up all the top drops and all that stuff, but we're still struggling and we're still not, getting that result that we're after. Well, take a look at yourself in the mirror, right? It's that mindset, guys. And we want to make sure that you guys are on top of that too. So we're going to be providing that value. Third, guys, is cash flow, right? In order to invest, you need to have cash coming in. You need to have, income producing, whether it's a business, whether it's a job, some sort of activity that is giving you cash flow over and over again. So that way you can have liquidity to then, take a portion of it and making your money work for you, right? And then that's the last one is like making sure your money is always working for you, right? For me, it's cutting out my expenses, not spending money on clothes and stuff that I don't need right now, right? And cutting that down so then I can go and invest more, right? I keep myself broke. You look into my bank account, there's not much in there, right? But if you look into my NFT portfolio, it's valued pretty high. If you look into my crypto portfolio, I'm pretty happy with it. So the key is to always be making your money work for you, because if you don't find a way for your money to work for you, you're always going to work for it, right? And so it's very important, right? So what we're going to be doing here is, we're going to create a curriculum from A to Z, right? Of, everything to do with crypto, from the ground zero to understanding, how to get your wallet set up, getting your exchange set up. One of the most important parts that most people never ever talk about, or you're never taught to begin with, is crypto security, right? When I first got into cryptos, I was living in Australia back in 2017. I was making decent money at the time, right? But I was just throwing my money left, right, and center. I didn't have, the right wallets. I had a wallet on my phone, and, I ended up losing all my holdings. Like, I don't know what that wallet would be worth if I could find the keys and everything for that wallet. It would be in the tens of thousands of dollars, right? And it is what it is at the end of the day, right? But we want to make sure that you don't have to make the same mistakes, right? Because you get to follow people, not only myself, right, who I'm very careful where I get my information from. I only listen to experts and people that have way more experience than me, right? So we get to listen to them as well, right? And that's what's really special. So now next is like the starting point, with the NFT space as a whole, right? We have Ethereum NFTs, we have Solana NFTs. There's so much going on. There's so much noise, right? Where does one even start, right? And that's where we come in hand. That's where, your own education will take you from, where you want to be, guys. Like, the key to this space is learning, right? If you're not plugged in, you're not putting in the hours to understand this stuff, you're going to get left in the dust. If you just expect to throw money out there and just hope for the best and just buying project and not spending time on learning, you're going to get thrown right out of the water, right? Gary Vee even mentioned it too. He's like, how did he make, I think it was like $90 million in his NFT collection in like 30 days. How did he make $90 million in 30 days? He did that because he decided he saw an opportunity, and he decided, I'm going to lose a little bit of sleep tonight. I'm going to lose, and he's running all the business. He does a lot of things, and I'm just going to spend a few hours learning about this space, going on YouTube, going into Discords, conversating with people, asking questions, and figuring out what this is all about. He put his 40 hours, 100 hours, whatever it was into this. Boom. Makes sense. Light bulb. Created the idea, executed, and applied what he learned, right? But if he didn't do that, wouldn't be his collection, right? So we got to put that in as well, right? We got to make a decision and decide, what? I really want to take advantage of this space, and I'm going to do what it takes, right? And guess what? Maybe NFTs isn't the vehicle for you. Maybe NFTs isn't the thing that you want to do, right? And that's fine, right? But we got to figure out what it is that we truly desire and what it is that we truly want, which, for a lot of people, it's freedom. It's being able to do as you please, not being tied down and held back in a certain place, being limited, right? Because we live in a limitless world if we choose to, right? So decide what it is that you want. NFTs can just be a vehicle to do so, right? If it's not the right place, well, guess what I work on? I have another group called Freedom Finders. It's your complete access to multiple streams of income online, right? There's so many different ways of how you can make money online. There's so many different ways. I truly believe that's a vehicle to live a life you desire, is through creating some sort of income online. Like, that's this day of age, right? So go out and do it. And I 100% support no matter which direction we go. And that's a conversation we can have in private. That's why we're here as a team, as a group, to really make that happen. So I want to cover a quick little topic, and then I'm going to pass this off. So really, when in getting into NFTs, guys, there's 5 different types of NFTs, right? So when you go in and invest into a project, you got to decide which column this is landing in and how you're going to do it, right? Because, strategy is also, it's really important when you're coming into a project, right? Is number one is you need to set an expectation for yourself, right? Of like, what are you going to do with this thing? And then you got to have a strategy behind it. Like, are you going to hold it long term? Are you looking to, quickly flip it? Are you here for, some other passive reasons, right? So you got to figure that out. So the 5 different NFTs out there, and you can write these down right now, is number one is like the quick flips, right? There's just a lot of hype behind the project, big group that's running it, and it's just like super exciting, right? And there's like a massive demand, maybe a smaller supply, right? But there's no real roadmap. You might not know the teams, right? There's always going to be risk, right? But like, playing that little quick flip where, hey, you know what? If you can get a mint, you get the whitelist, right? It's 3, 5, Xing right off the gate, sell it within 2 hours, get the heck out, you got some cash flow, right? Next would be like a long-term project, right? A long-term project, for example, Rough Life Rescues, right? Because in the Rough Life roadmap, it takes time to create, the staking protocol, the metaverse, the other partnerships to really make its full thing, right? So you see it as that long-term blue chip. So you come in with the expectation, you know what? I'm parking my money here. I'm not attached to it. I don't need it right now. And we'll see what happens, right? It's not something that you're going to be crying about in a week from now when you're like, man, why don't I have my money back, right? So, it's creating an expectation when you come into the project, right? Next is like a passive income style NFT project where you can, it's an access to decentralized finance, which we'll talk about more in the future, right? Where there's rewards of holding this NFT, right? Maybe they give you a percentage of royalties. Maybe they give you, many different, like maybe a percentage into, like there was a project I was looking at and it was like a percentage of the restaurant. You own a piece of a restaurant, like, so you look at that. Another one would be called the community aspect, right? You join because of just the community, like the access card that you get to, right? The exclusive privileges that you have with this NFT. For example, the full send meta cards, right? Because, that gives you access to some special events. It gives you access to their inner circle club, right? Things like that. Or maybe another good example, I bought into a project called the Crypto Monks. I literally bought it just so I can have access to the alpha information and who they stand for and the information that they provide, right? That's why I bought into the project. I don't care where it goes. I don't care if it goes to 0. I don't care the floor prices, nothing. I'm in it for the community, for the long haul. I know I'm going to get my return on my investment just from being a part of that community. And maybe you might see that in Rough Life Rescues too, right? And the last thing is, and there's probably more NFTs too, like there's an abundance, but these are the 5 main ones I see is like a tool. The last one's a tool. So it gives you access to maybe a certain software, a tool that you can use for, NFTs and stuff like that. Access to something, right? That it would be a tool base. So you're buying an actual product that you're actually using, right? It'd just be like going to buy a hammer, for $20 because you need to use a hammer and it's $20 and that's the value of it. And that's, probably a really bad symbolism, but same. So next, guys, so does that make sense, right? Like that makes sense. So those are the few avenues. one of the biggest things that, you'll hear me say this over and over and over and over again is really when you go into the NFTs and, you make your investment, go in almost with an expectation of like, you might not get that investment back, right? The second that you're attached and emotionally involved with that money, with that trade, you've lost, right? When you're attached to it so much, yeah, guys, you're gonna go crazy. Like, trust me on that. One of my mentors, one of the best advices he gave to me is be married to the process, but divorced from the outcome. And you can apply this to any area in life, whether it is investing or maybe it's your goals, whatever, right? Like, trust that process, be excited about it, get involved with like learning how to grow yourself, all that stuff, but detach yourself from that outcome. No matter the result, understand that you've grown, right? Because people, success is just growth, guys, right? That's the only thing that's constant is we're literally growing. We're changing all the time, right? So, sure, you might fall short of your goal, but are you going to cry about it and take 10 steps back? Or you're just going to move the date a little bit farther ahead, right? So this same principle. Hey, you might get rug pulled. Guess what? People get rug pulled all the time. It happens. I bought into a project. I thought it was going to be great. Seemed good. It checked the boxes, but I lost because the back end team, they just pulled it from the curtain. It's worth nothing now. And it is what it is, because here's the thing. What I love about NFTs, it's all risk to reward. Sure, you lose two NFT projects in a row, but that one project that you win will outweigh those losses plus more, right? Because I love the risk to reward ratio here, because honestly, it's a minimal risk to a very high potential gain. And guess what? We're going to teach you, and I'm going to teach you how to actually become the casino, like the actual house. So that way the odds are always in your favor, right? There's a reason why a casino is a business, and there's a reason why casinos are still here today, because they're profitable, right? So you can come in and learn actually how to become the casino by displaying your own odds. So I think that's Tammy. It looks like Tammy's profile. Hey, Tammy, can you please mute yourself?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank
I
you.
got it figured.
No worries. So guys, next is I want to bring on Alec here. So Alec and I, we met each other through social media. I'm honestly not sure how long we've been following each other, but like, I don't know why, but there was just like a calling where I was like, man, this guy is dope. He's creating content. I'm like, I need to connect with him. I need to see what he's up to and what's going on, right? And I was just like, we connected right away. We hopped on a call. We chatted a little bit. But what's really cool with Alec is that he shares some of the similar vision and more importantly, the similar values, right? He really wants to see other people win. He wants to be a gatekeeper, a gate opener to helping the newest individual walk into this space. Next is he has experience, right? He puts his money where his mouth goes, and he's heavily involved. He's researching, he's doing the things, and I presented this idea of like, bro, like I'd love to create some sort of group, a community where we can learn and grow together, and man, like why don't we build something together, right? And here's the invite too, guys. If you feel like there's a way that you can provide value in this group as well, the door is open, right? Collaboration over competition. We want to make sure everybody eats, right? And like as well, this group here, guys, one day we'll be able to charge, this will be inclusive of thousands of dollars of value. We should be charging hundreds of dollars. Like my time's not free. Alec's time's not free. That's for sure. Right. But like, because you guys are part of Rough Life Rescues, because you guys are here as like the first people, we're not going to charge you any money. Like, that wouldn't be fair off the gate, right? Like, we want to grow with you. We want to use your testimonies. We want to see your results, right? That will help impact more people down the line. That, we might charge, $200 or a monthly fee or something like that to have access in proximity of the information that we're here to provide, right? So over the next couple days, guys, I'm gonna be making a couple posts about that inside of the group here, and you'll just have to react. You'll get a role, right? Because we'll also feather out a lot of people, and if you're serious, you're in. You're grandfathered in. You're good, right? But if you don't click the buttons and stuff like that, you're gonna get kicked out of the group, and the next time you want to come back in, you're gonna have to pay to get in. Right? So as well, this is an added bonus for Rough Life Rescues, because Rough Life Rescues, guys, is my family. It's my bread and butter. I don't I'm involved with it all heavy, and I want to make sure that you guys are winning too. So this is just an added bonus, and it's an entry pass. Let's go. So that being said, guys, I'm going to bring on Alec here. He's going to share a couple things that he sees what this group's about, what he can provide, make a quick introduction, and go from there. So Alec, take it away, bro. Can you please first maybe give a quick introduction of, who you are, where you're from, and a little bit, and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Alec Wilson. I am based out of the U.S. here on the East Coast in Philadelphia currently. I'm a recent graduate of the University of Alabama here in the States. Roll Tide to anybody who knows what that is. But yeah, guys, I fell in love with cryptocurrency in my sophomore year of college. And boy, has it made such a difference in my life already. I was an early investor in XRP, probably in, not even that early, to be honest. This was probably in 2019 when we saw a little bit of a downtrend. And I was able to scoop up XRP around, 25 cents. And I rode it all the way to close to $1.60 and cashed out. And that was really my first thing. And it made me fall in love with crypto. The ability to chase financial freedom every single day outside of schoolwork, other things that I was focused on, it was something that just excited me. And I'm really excited to be speaking with you guys today. I'm really excited to be developing a curriculum as well alongside Trevor. I'm super excited to be collaborating. I think that together he and I are going to be bringing you guys a wealth of really, really awesome content, things for you to learn every single day. If you take one thing away from every single lesson, that's the goal. Like Trevor said, I'm very motivated by everybody eating. Community is super, super important to me. And we definitely are looking to build up one of the best communities based around cryptocurrency, NFTs, everything. I know Trevor has a very heavy outlook on Solana NFTs, and so do I. This is something that I've become very passionate for more recently. But my journey in cryptocurrency started with Bitcoin and just buying Bitcoin and storing it on a hot wallet. Like Trevor said, I started out with the Exodus app. And from there, I learned more about crypto security, and now I only use a Ledger Nano S. I'm a huge supporter of Ledger and a huge supporter of Ripple. But yeah, I'm going to run you guys through everything. My curriculum is going to be based around just about everything. It's going to start off talking about hardware, wallets, everything. Then we're going to move on, talk about tokens. I'm going to run you through everything from Bitcoin to micro caps. We're going to talk more about tokens. I do a lot of technical analysis. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is @WilsonTANetwork. I do a lot of technical analysis in my free time, and I will definitely be posting the charts for you guys to check out. And with that being said, if you guys have anything that you want me to do technical analysis on, please feel free to shoot me a DM. I will send you guys charts as soon as possible. But yeah, I have things written down on my board up here. I don't know if you guys can read it or not, but I have so much mapped out for you guys. I'm really excited for. I'm going to talk to you guys about what I think makes a good buy, what I think makes a good cryptocurrency. I'm going to talk to you guys about why most of my money is in layer one solutions and different blockchains like Binance, Solana, Ethereum. I don't really own too much Bitcoin anymore, but we are going to talk about Bitcoin and why that is absolutely essential in cryptocurrency. From there, we're going to move a little bit more into passive income, where NFTs play a role because I am a super fan of passive income NFTs. I am a part of Space Ape Empire, Meerkat Millionaires Country Club. I'm going to be buying a Quantum Trader very soon. I now own 9 Cartoon Cartel NFTs, and they just announced today that they're going to be doing Solana staking for base NFTs. I also own the alien techs and everything else. So passive income NFTs for me are awesome because, I am super interested by mining, and mining has an electricity cost, right? But let's just say you're able to buy an NFT and just store it in your wallet. You don't even have to log onto your computer. There's no electric rate, and you're still making a passive income over time. And that's what really drew me to NFTs at the end of the day. So in this, passive income phase, we're going to talk about NFTs. We're going to talk about DeFi, staking. I love Avalanche. We're going to take a deep dive into Avalanche ecosystem, Binance ecosystem, talk about Phantom, Tezos, and NFTs on every single blockchain as well. Don't think that we're not going to talk about NFTs. It's going to be about half of my curriculum. So yeah, with that being said, I'm super excited to be teaming up with Trevor and bringing you guys content. I'm going to be doing live calls at least twice a week, so feel free to join in on them. Please let me know in the chat if you guys are all based on the West Coast. I will make sure to change around my schedule so that I am presenting around this time at night. And if you guys are not all in the East or not all on the West Coast, then we can change something around for that as well. I want to make sure that when Trevor and I have live calls that we have people to present to, people that are absorbing the information, because, at the end of the day, we're here for you guys. We're here for everybody. And we want to help everyone get one day closer to financial freedom every single day. That is the goal. And 1% better every single day over 100 days is 100% better. And over 365 days in a year, you're 3.65 times better than you were last year. So I'm a numbers guy. I love numbers. We're going to run up the numbers. And, I'm just super excited. So thank you for letting me talk. I'm super excited to bring you guys everything. Like, I can't stop smiling. I was so excited for this call all day. So I don't know about you, Trev, but I'm over the top right now.
That's on you, but I'm always excited though.
Yeah, no. But you know what I'm saying, man. Let's get it. Like, it's time. We're gonna get the ball rolling. And I'm really excited to be bringing you guys just the best information that I have, because I've done years of research, and I love talking about this stuff. This stuff's fun for me. So let's get it.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Alec, for your introduction and displaying what you're here for and what you want to do. So it's always exciting because when you have an idea, it just brings opportunity, right? And you have people knocking on your doorstep, and you want to say yes, right? So it's fun, guys, and you'll see this too. Like, when I dove into NFTs, and I've heard this story many times with, for example, even Rough Life, people who've been plugged in for the last 2 months with us, they've learned so much, and they've dove into other projects, they've had other wins, and it's just amazing to see, right? You learn a lot when you're involved and when you're a part of something, right? And that's the beauty. Since I got going in NFTs, which was back in literally the end of September, I had some Solana profits. I bought Solana at $9 a coin, and I was like, I think there's NFT, people are talking about NFTs. I think there's NFTs on Solana, and I just Googled it, right? And I just oh, there are some NFTs. And I started looking up the latest projects dropping, and I just picked one off the table that looked kind of cool. And I was like, I'm going to just try here and see, and then just put a couple Solana to work. I ended up over investing on it, but it worked out in my favor at the end of the day. But, since being in this NFT space, it's led to starting 2 different companies, right? Now I have a company that, does merchandise for NFT projects and NFT collectors, where we can provide customized merchandise. Hey, you want a t-shirt with your NFT on it? We got you, right? And so create a company like that. fully registered, partnered with a handful of different projects, and that's exciting. It's just like, it just happens, right? Other business too. I helped found Rough Life Rescues, right? An incredible NFT project for the long term, giving back to the SPCA, right? Like, opportunities just land on your lap, right? We have many people who've just plugged in and they became like moderators of groups, right? And they earn Solana in different ways. Well, and then another thing I'm working on is big things inside the metaverse now too. So it's like, you never know where this road will take you, and this is just the starting point, and we want to make sure that we welcome, we congratulate, and we cheer everybody on whichever way the journey takes them. And that's what's really exciting, because you never know what's next in store. So lastly, guys, I want to open up to a couple questions, but before that, I just want to say, like, if you're brand new to the NFT space, and remember when we were talking about cash flow, and you're like, I don't have cash, I can't invest, I don't know how to get involved, right? Times are tough. I understand that, right? And one big thing that you can do is get involved anyways, right? Plug into different Discord groups, projects that you're like, man, I want to be a part of this, whether you can afford it or not. Get involved with the project and just provide value. Be a person of service, be a person of a heart, and just add value in their groups all the time. And guess what? You're going to get recognized, right? You're going to potentially become a moderator of that group. You're going to be able to become a part of that team. People will see that. And, you have zero expectation of return. And this is very important, that you don't just go in there and be like, hey, I want to become a moderator. Hey, can you pay me for this? Can you do this, right? Like, I have people all the time DMing me all the time for, hey, I'm a moderator, I'm a collab creator. Give me some money and I'll go do this. And it's like, everybody that's earned a spot on our team, they already shown themselves first, and they just did the work, and then we paid them anyways, right? And they weren't expected to get paid, right? So that's the beauty. You can get started just by simply getting involved, learning, growing, and get that knowledge. Meanwhile, you work your job, you work something where you're making some money, and you stack that to a point where eventually you can, invest. Right? But in the meantime, you might as well go stack some Solana by providing value, guys, right? So, so anything's possible on that side. So, guys, I want to pass it off. I know a couple people had a couple questions. If you guys have questions, unmute yourself. I know, Brando, you had a quick question there, but if anyone else does, please let us know or drop it in the chat.
I know someone was asking me about NFTs earlier. I hope I answered your question. Space Apes Empire, Meerkat Millionaires, a couple other ones, Cartoon Cartel. That's one that I was just talking about last week, in the Discord. But yeah.
Dude, do you still have the hippos, bro?
Actually, I had a rank 122 of 4321, and I sold it for 15 Sol when the floor dropped back down to 6. And then 3 days later, the price went back to like 9 Solana, and I could have sold it for 20.
Okay. Hey, you still got some liquid there.
Yeah, the Cartoon Cartel is what I'm waiting on, because the alien tech, the snapshot of the blockchain was just taken tonight. So since I have 9 of them, I'm gonna get 3 alien techs, which allow me to make loot, or no, not loot. That's Cop's game. Toon token, and then the 9 that I have from the base collection will earn me Sol passively, which is why I'm really excited about that project. And I got in below mint too. Like, I got most of mine at mint, I'm not gonna lie, but I did get in below mint, so I did bring my average entry down.
Yeah, so what Alec's talking about, which I feel is like sometimes it's confusing, because there's so many different ways that you can earn, but there's avenues where they incorporate like high yielding and DeFi within the NFT contract, where just by owning the NFT, you get whether it's like their native token, or you get to use it for their gaming processes, or you get other NFTs, and there's a whole, I don't know the word, like a plethora of ways that you can be earning with it, and you get your ROIs just from basically holding it, and it's crazy. So he'll definitely talk more about that, because it goes sometimes beyond my ears too. You're talking about all these different tokens, and you're getting alien text with cartoons. It's like, how does that make sense, right? But like, that's where you go into their group, you go look at their white papers, you go read their roadmap, and then it all starts making a little bit more sense, right? So I'll have to go do my own research, and we'll touch in on that. But anyways, I think Brandon had a question, dude. Like, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, super cool. So my question was around as far as sort of using rarity tools, just the general kind of process of quote unquote sniping, a good buy, what that looks like, and understanding obviously you can look at Magic Eden, you can try and compare to rarity charts, but just sort of from your experience between the two of you, Alec and Trev there, what that sort of process looks for you guys.
Yeah, so for me personally, I think that when I'm trying to use rarity tools or use Rarity Mon or use something like that in order to find a high rarity NFT, I think that normally what I try to do is I try to get the highest ranked NFT for the lowest price. So recently I have been trying to get a quantum trader for a good price, and the floor just recently dropped to 7.9, which is the lowest it's been in a while. And I went onto Rarity Mon and I was looking through ones that are for sale. So like you can see from, rank number 1 all the way down to last rank. And you can also filter out ones that are only for sale. So I filter out the ones that are not for sale. And then normally I try to find ones that are high enough rank where comparatively other ones that are similar to it are selling for above the floor price. And I try to get it for as close to the floor price as possible, because at the end of the day, if you're able to get an NFT near or at floor price, the likelihood of you losing value on that NFT is just that much less. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's super cool. And then I guess just to feedback off that, or kind of roll off of that, but similar subject, but what, I was trying to break it down in percentages, but basically like say a project of 10,000, individual NFTs, are you looking for something in the top 10%, top 5%, top, 20%? What actually makes something where you're like, shit, that's a good buy? Obviously there's a lot of value, relative value to price and what you get, but is there a point where you're like, yeah, anything over, 20 or 30% is not worth buying?
Yeah, my rule of thumb is relative to anything over 20%. So if you were near that top 20% line, you got to think about it in like fractions. This is the top fifth. Not super impressive, but still, like you're, the top 20%. There's definitely going to be a buyer out there searching for what you have. Will they pay, top 10% price? No. But if you can get as close to under 10%, that is where you will have your bread and butter making money. That was where I bought my high roller hippo. I was top 2%, and I probably could have sold for 20, 25 Solana, but at that time I had a mint coming up the next day. I wanted, liquid money, and at that point that NFT had become liquid because it was top 2%. Anytime I put it up on Magic Eden, I had bids for whatever I was asking. I had it up there for 30 Solana at one point in time with an offer at around 18. I ended up selling it at 15.
Cool. I want to touch in on that. I want to touch in on that subject quick too, because when it comes down to sniping NFTs, right? Like there's a lot of volume coming through. Like sometimes if it's just like a tremendous amount of volume and like, maybe you're not looking for the best one. Like sometimes it's just getting the lowest price possible, right? And, just getting your best dollar in, right? But what I look for, so for example, I'll give you an example with like Dazed Ducks, for example. So when I bought in Dazed Ducks, volume was kicking in, they're expanding on their roadmap, right? The floor price, I think, was around 1.7 Solana, right? But what I looked for, I didn't use the rarity tools and stuff like that, because sometimes, use the rarity tools if it offers it, and you can find like, some of the best ranks, and like, but some rarity tools like, don't show like all the ones that are actually like listed like for sale. So then you're like looking at each one individually, and it takes a lot of time, right? So what I've done actually is I do it through a rarity trait, for example. So what I wanted to snipe was a red zombie, right? I saw red zombie skin being a little bit more rare, right? And, there's a little less supply of red zombie skins. I think there's like, I don't know how many there was of there, but I was like, I want to get a red zombie skin, right? So I'm willing to pay a little bit more than the floor price to get a red zombie skin. And that's what I did. I paid 2.6 Solana for a red zombie skin. And that's what I sniped on there, right? So that's how you figure it out. Another way, like this is what I do all the time, when I'm like, okay, I want to get into a project, and then I go in and start shopping, right, to how to get into the project. I'll go into the Discord and I'll just start asking people, and I'll be like, what are some of the best plays to do? Like where, does anyone have some good deals or see any snipes, right? And sometimes people give like, oh, there's a snipe, and then you go look at it, right? And it might make sense, right? Sometimes they're just trying to shield their own NFT, and you're like, wait, no, that's no good. But asking in the Discord is powerful. I went into the Crypto Monks Discord. That was a project I've recently bought into, and they were explaining to me that you want one with a more chai the better, which is like one of the traits, and it's like an attribute with whatever. I wanted one with more chai, so I started using the filters of 20 plus chai on that NFT, right? So because that's what they're talking about. Okay, I only want to buy one that has 20 plus chai. I'm willing to pay a bit extra for it, right? And it was a bit of a stretch. It was like I was trying to buy one, but I needed like 0.0001 ETH left for gas fee. And I was like, are you kidding me? I can't buy it. So what I was just doing was I was just waiting for like someone to list a little lower of that chai, right? Because people were, trying to get rid of their NFTs and not knowing what the actual value was. And I just kept refreshing the screen, just kept refreshing. And I actually went in the Discord and said, guys, list your NFTs. And someone listed one for under the floor price. And it was like the perfect one that I wanted, that chai level. It was also turned out to be a zombie skin as well. And I got an absolute deal, right? And I was just patient, and I was waiting for it. And I was just waiting. Like I paid 0.14 ETH was like the price plus gas, versus the one I was going to buy was like 0.195 plus gas. And today, in just like 3 days, because it's a zombie skin 20 thing, like that floor price is like at almost 1 Ethereum now. It's like boggles my brain. So that's a little bit of like how to like, it'll take some time and practice. At the end of the day, like you don't need to be perfect, right? It's if you want to be involved with the project, right? Just get involved. But yeah, sometimes you can find that like a little bit of a better deal. And my way of sniping is usually through the attributes versus the actual full-on rarity. So yeah, hope that helps.
Anybody else have a question?
I know Buddy Guy was asking about when's the next drop and stuff like that. And top cryptos and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, curtains, here's my answer to all of this, right? The whole thing of like asking people for their projects and, figuring out, hey, what are your top cryptos and this and that. The biggest thing with this is who are you listening to? Who are you getting your information from? Because like, do you just trust me and Alec and be like, oh yeah, they have some results. They're living, life maybe different or whatever. I'm just doing it because of that, right? Like, I'm very careful with like, where we get those plays and informations from. And that's why, we want to teach you how to like do your own research. Of course, we have inside of here an NFT drop section, right? Anything that I get like good alpha from, which is usually from alpha groups I'm a part of or other NFT projects I'm a part of, I share them in there, right? Anything that I'm going for, I'm sharing them in there. And then, you're going to understand how to do your own research. So that way you can figure out if it makes sense to you, right? But like, at the end of the day, we're not here to just call signals, because that doesn't teach people. Like, the goal here is to teach you how to fish for yourself, so that way you can make your own decisions for a lifetime, and you can pass this on to your children and create generational wealth, right?
100%. I entirely agree with that. Earlier this week, in the general chat, I actually called out Cartoon Cartel on the mint date. And if you followed that, you would have lost money, because still to this moment, we're below mint price. But I did my research on that project. This is something that, I saw as a good long-term investment. And because I'm the kind of person where I put my money where my mouth is, and if I tell you guys I'm looking at a project or I'm investing in a project, it's something that I'm very transparent about. You guys have to be patient, and you guys have to learn how to fish for yourself. You have to understand that, this is not something that comes overnight. We are here to help guide you guys towards financial freedom, but are we going to be giving out free calls all the time? The answer is no. Odds are there probably will be a project here or there that, I may be on my computer for, just see it's dropping like that, and I may not be able to get it to the Discord. So it's important for you guys to be able to do your research about projects, find websites where you're able to find upcoming projects, and then, join their Discord, go to their website, follow their Twitter. You guys need to be spending, I can't even tell you how much time a week I spend on Twitter. I never thought I would have said that in my life, but I spend hours and hours and hours on Twitter prospecting for, NFT drops, finding new collections, DMing people who run the accounts, talking to the devs. I talked to the developers of a couple of different projects. I talked to the kids who ran Balloonsville. That was something I was super excited about, but I overbought on Cartoon Cartel, did not get a chance to get in, and I missed that, and that was actually the project that ended up running. So, at the end of the day, Trev and I definitely have a lot of knowledge, and we do know what we're calling. And we do think that the projects that we tell you guys about are really good projects. But it's important that at the end of the day, you guys understand this is not financial advice. And yeah, you guys have to be able to research projects on your own and know when a good project is a good project. Because if I wasn't able to pull the trigger by myself and say this is a good project, I would have gotten nowhere. I never would have gotten into cryptocurrency. It was me throwing, the possibility of losing all my money or whatever it was. It was me taking the chance of a lifetime investing in crypto for the first time, and it just happened to work out. So I guarantee if you guys do the same thing, put the time in, put the hours in, put in your research, it'll work out very well for you.
Perfect. Anyways, bro, we'll wrap it up there. We're getting to the hour mark, and yeah, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Freaking awesome.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to be throwing the time that I'm going to do my first class in the Discord. Trev, I think I'm going to do it on